What if I told you the world's most powerful AI model wasn't born in a giant corporation like Google or Microsoft, but in a nonprofit research lab, backed by billionaires built on open source ideals, and then flipped into a multi-billion-dollar startup taking over the world? This is the story of OpenAI, the research lab that went from an idealistic mission to align artificial intelligence with human values, to unleashing ChatGPT, changing everything from how we write email to how we build billion-dollar companies. But this story isn't just about the tech. It's about a college dropout, a rocket man, billion-dollar bets, a mutiny inside the company, and the global race to control the most powerful force since the internet. To understand OpenAI, you need to understand Sam Altman. Born in 1985 in St. Louis, Missouri, Sam Altman was one of those kids who took apart computers for fun. By 8 years old, he was coding. He attended Stanford University for computer science, but like many iconic tech founders, he didn't stick around long. Instead, in 2005, Sam dropped out to build a location-sharing app called Looped. Think early Find My Friends, long before the iPhone made location tracking mainstream. The startup was part of Y Combinator's very first batch. It didn't become the next big thing, but the experience shaped him. Years later, Sam would become president of Y Combinator, the startup accelerator that helped launch Airbnb, Dropbox, Stripe, and Reddit. Under his leadership, YC grew from a cool founder community to a powerful institution that could turn nerds into millionaires and sometimes billionaires. Around 2014 to 2015, one thing kept bugging him: artificial intelligence. Sam wasn't the only one thinking about AI. Elon Musk, already juggling Tesla and SpaceX, was becoming increasingly alarmed by the pace of progress in AI, especially at Google. At the time, Google had acquired DeepMind, a UK-based AI lab that was training models to beat humans at games like Go. Musk thought it was dangerous, not because DeepMind was evil, but because no one was really thinking about safety. So in 2015, Musk, Sam Altman, and a group of researchers, engineers, and tech philanthropists came together. Their goal? Build artificial general intelligence, AGI, but make it safe. Make it aligned, make it open. They named the new research lab OpenAI and structured it as a nonprofit. Their charter was clear: build AI that would benefit humanity as a whole, not shareholders. And keep their research open source to prevent AI power from being concentrated in just a few companies like Google or Facebook. The original team included legends like Ilya Sutskever, formerly at Google Brain, and Greg Brockman, former CTO at Stripe. They raised $1 billion in commitments from Elon, Sam, Peter Thiel, and others. At first, OpenAI focused on things like robotics, reinforcement learning, and even training AI agents to play video games like Dota 2, not just for fun, but to experiment with decision-making, planning, and coordination. But soon they realized, if you really want to build AGI, you can't just tinker with one problem. You need a foundation, a general-purpose model that can understand and reason across domains. That's where things changed. In 2017, a quiet academic paper from Google changed the game forever. It was called Attention is All You Need, and it introduced the Transformer, a new neural network architecture that allowed AI models to process text in parallel, making them vastly more powerful and scalable. OpenAI took notice, fast. Using Transformer architecture, they began training a series of models called GPT, short for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. The first one was decent. The second one, GPT-2, shocked even its own creators. It could write coherent paragraphs, answer questions, summarize texts, even mimic writing styles. OpenAI was so surprised by its capabilities that they refused to release the model publicly, citing concerns it could be misused for spam, disinformation, or worse. that decision caused some backlash. Wasn't OpenAI supposed to be open? Meanwhile, Elon Musk quietly exited the board in 2018, citing conflicts of interest with Tesla's own AI efforts. But some insiders say he clashed with Sam and the team about the direction of the company. Shortly after Musk's departure, OpenAI made a radical shift from nonprofit to capped profit. Under this hybrid structure, investors could make up to 100 times return on their money, but no more. The rest of the gains would go toward the nonprofit mission. That opened the door to outside investment. And in 2019, Microsoft came in with $1 billion. By late 2022, OpenAI was ready to release its most powerful product yet, and this time they weren't holding it back. ChatGPT, based on the GPT 3.5 model, launched quietly in November 2022 as a free web app. No waitlist, no install. Just type in a prompt and watch the magic happen. The world had never seen anything like it. Within 5 days, over 1 million people had signed up. ChatGPT could write essays, generate poems, explain quantum physics, and debug code all in seconds. It wasn't perfect, but it was shockingly good. It sparked a frenzy across TikTok, Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube. For a brief moment, it felt like humanity had collectively stumbled into the future. And behind the scenes, Microsoft was watching very closely. They had already invested in OpenAI, but when ChatGPT blew up, they doubled down. In January 2023, Microsoft announced a new multi-year, $10 billion investment into OpenAI, giving them preferred access to the models via Azure. But not everyone at OpenAI was celebrating. ChatGPT's success was both a blessing and a curse. Internally, OpenAI had teams focused on AI safety and alignment, trying to ensure the models wouldn't hallucinate harmful content or be used maliciously. But not everyone agreed on how cautious they should be. Several researchers, including senior figures like Dario Amodei and John Laika, left OpenAI, citing concerns that the company was prioritizing growth over safety. Many of them founded a rival lab, Anthropic, with its own mission to align AI with human intentions. At the same time, OpenAI was expanding its product line. DALL-E gave users the power to create images from text. Whisper enabled speech recognition. Codex helped developers write code faster. And GPT-4, released in 2023, took everything to the next level with better reasoning, less hallucination, and multimodal capabilities. OpenAI was no longer just a research lab. It was a full-blown product company, and a massively profitable one at that. By the end of 2023, OpenAI's annualized revenue crossed by $1.6 billion, mostly from its ChatGPT Plus subscriptions and API licensing deals. But then the unthinkable happened. On November 17, 2023, OpenAI's board abruptly announced it had fired Sam Altman. The reasons? Vague. They claimed he had not been consistently candid in his communications, but didn't specify what that meant. There was no scandal, just silence. The tech world lost its mind. Investors were furious. Microsoft, caught off guard, scrambled to reassure shareholders. Nearly 700 of OpenAI's 770 employees signed a letter demanding Altman's reinstatement and threatening to quit if he wasn't brought back. Sam didn't go quietly either. Within days, Microsoft offered him and Greg Brockman, OpenAI's co-founder and former president, a new division to lead inside Microsoft, and it looked like they might take it. But after 5 days of chaos, the board reversed course. Sam Altman was reinstated, the board was reshuffled, and OpenAI got back to work a little bruised but more unified than ever. The incident revealed just how central Altman was to the company's vision and momentum. It also showed how high the stakes had become. OpenAI is projecting over $5 billion in revenue for 2025. And it's currently in talks to raise another $40 billion, which would value the company north of $100 billion, making it one of the most valuable startups in history. But competition is fierce. Google, Anthropic, Meta, and Elon Musk's xAI are all racing to develop bigger, better, safer, and faster models. The AI arms race isn't just about who has the smartest model, it's about who can own the ecosystem, from chips and cloud to data and distribution. OpenAI still has a first-mover advantage, but maintaining it won't be easy. Let's talk money. OpenAI's business model is unusual because it sits at the intersection of deep tech, infrastructure, and SaaS. ChatGPT Plus charges $20 per month, giving subscribers access to GPT-4 and faster performance. API licensing allows other companies to embed OpenAI models into their products, like Notion, Duolingo, Shopify, etc. Enterprise solutions offer private, secure versions of GPT for big businesses with added safety controls and compliance. And on the other hand, partnerships like the one with Microsoft provide cloud access and funding, but also tie OpenAI into Azure's ecosystem. As of 2024, OpenAI's annual revenue is expected to exceed $3.4 billion, with over 100 million active users across its services. This is no longer an experiment. It's a business juggernaut, one that could rival the likes of Google Cloud or Amazon Web Services in just a few years. But it's not all smooth sailing. Maintaining these models costs hundreds of millions. Training GPT-4 reportedly cost over $100 million in compute alone, and future models will be even more expensive. That's why OpenAI is raising a rumored $40 to $50 billion fund to build out its own AI supercomputer infrastructure, codenamed Stargate. They're betting that by owning the full stack, from chips to cloud to interface, they can build the Apple of AI. In 2015, OpenAI began as an open-source nonprofit, trying to keep AI safe from bad actors. In 2025, OpenAI is a hybrid research lab startup infrastructure provider, backed by one of the biggest tech companies in the world, with tools that are already reshaping how we learn, work, and create. Some say they sold out. Others say they're doing what's necessary to win. But either way, one thing is clear. OpenAI is not just building a chatbot. They're building the interface layer for the future of computing. And if they succeed, the way we interact with information, tools, and each other will never be the same. If you found this breakdown valuable, smash that like button. It helps more people discover the hidden stories behind the world's biggest companies. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.